Hi, Bryan here from Stroud Homes on the Gold Coast. We've been talking about knockdown rebuilds. This video is the third in the series of three, and I'm pretty excited to get to this point because this one is like the culmination of everything we've been talking about. If you've seen part one and part two, we'll talk a lot about numbers here and what sort of returns you can expect. Okay, as I said, in this final instalment, I'd like to work through the numbers to show you just how well this strategy can work. As we find with all proposed investments, if the numbers don't stack up, don't bother. Again, I'll just remind you, I'm not a financial planner and would advise you to seek your own financial advice. Now, having said that, I can tell you the proposed plan we've been discussing does work, and our co-director here has implemented this very same tactic to produce similar results. Now, shortly on the screen, we'll have one of two broad possibilities. The assumption you already own land. I'm not going to work through the other broad option, which is purchasing land, as the two scenarios are very similar, and I'd probably end up putting you to sleep if I go through and cover both in detail. Having said that, if you would like a copy of both flowcharts, just email or text me and I'll email it out to you. Okay, so we're looking at the situation that we already own land, and we'll assume for the purpose of this exercise, you have a knockdown home on your block. So we'll need to include a $30,000 demolition and removal fee. Next, we decide on our home designs, relying on our Stroud Homes consultant to assist you, and that's me of course, ensuring the designs will fit on the block. We're going to allow $502,500 per home. Now, yes, that's a fairly detailed sort of a number, but I'm going to go through the costs with you now so you can see how I arrived at that. So the costs per home, we'll keep that demolition fee in there. So $30,000 for the demolition of the old home if required. The actual construction costs of the home, including full inclusions, $440,000 per home. And that's with one of the better facades as well. Landscaping, so we'll allow for turf, gardens and paths. That's $2,000 per home. Fencing and side gates. Now, this cost may not be required if the existing fences are in good order, but we'll allow for $4,500 per home just in case. Blinds or curtains, whatever your preference might be, we've put aside $3,500 per home for that. And council infrastructure charges. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. That's $15,000 per home, and strata title council fees. Again, I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit, but that's $7,500 per home. So all other council fees are already included in the home cost of $440,000 we mentioned earlier. So that's where that total comes from, the $502,500. Let's have a look at income. That's a lot more fun than costs, isn't it? Okay, we're working on a rent of $800 per home. That's very achievable. That's per week. We're going to even take off 8.5% property management fees, assuming you're going to use a property manager, which I would recommend. And that equals $3,172 per home per month. Let's have a look at the mortgage. So the mortgage would be assumed anyway at $502,500. So we are assuming that your borrowings there are 100%, and the loan you're going to take out is an interest-only loan. The interest there per month per home is $1,675. So this leads us to the fun part, excess income. So our income, as we established earlier, was $3,172 per month, less our costs of $1,675 per month, gives us an excess income of $1,497 per month. Obviously, you can do what you wish with that. You might decide to put it back in the mortgage. I probably would do a few other things, but that's totally up to you. So what a fabulous result. Just a couple of FYIs for your information. GST is included in all those calculations that I mentioned, and I have not taken any tax deductions into account. In most cases, I believe that there would be some tax deductions for you, and that would make an even better result for the monthly income. A couple of notes that I mentioned earlier that I said may need a little bit more explanation. One was the council infrastructure charge. So that's a fee that the council charge for allowing 2 dwellings on the one title. The strata titling. So this is a fee again from the council for reclassifying the zoning of your new homes. Strata titling, to try and bring it back to its most basic sense, is the process of dividing the 2 homes into individual allotments with their own individual title, registered at the titles office for the purpose of separate sales if you wanted to do that at some point now or in the future. So, I hope to speak to you soon. My contact details will be on the screen now if you would like an appointment to discuss your own personal situation. I do hope this series has been of some assistance. Thanks for listening.